What's up, y'all? Welcome to the In Between with your girl Nitra and Kirksey. We're going to be talking about our favorite Kendrick Lamar. Here we go.
Squabble up, 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 squabble up.
No, 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 no! Too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. Mr. Lamar, do you really know how to play the game? Then tighten up!
Yes, Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime was amazing. I love the fact that he had visuals in there. It was all, I love visuals, you know? So if you don't listen to Kendrick Lamar or you didn't understand his lyrics, you can obviously tell by his visuals what the message was he wanted to come across to his audience. My favorite part would have to be the Uncle Sam part. You're being too loud, you're being too ghetto. I really like that because Samuel L. Jackson portrays Uncle Sam, a historical white figure, by having a black man embody this traditional white figure. Lamar criticized how black artists are often pressed to conform to mainstream expectations. He implies that black expression is usually policed and considered too ghetto by white dominant society, even when it comes from a figure representing American majorities. So it really has you thinking like, so is me, my culture, is it too ghetto? And I also love Serena Williams' Crip Walk.
That's my girl.
That's my girl. We love Serena Williams here. I think her crip walking, I was like, I know she's from Compton, California. We all know this. So I'm like, okay, I'm not thinking much into it. But if you dive in deeper of the reason why she did the crip walking at the halftime performance is because she had a tennis match in the Olympics. And this caused a minor controversy that some saw as an outrage towards the expression of Black culture. So once I had watched the video of her crip walking after winning the tournament, I just thought it was unfair because Serena Williams is from Compton, as we know, where they have Crips and Bloods in the community. Serena was crip walking as a form of self-expression because it shows that she's happy. That's where she's from. She want to put her city on the map and she's happy. Like, I don't see nothing personally wrong with that. So being too black and too ghetto is just like, it's very, I think in a way it intimidates the majority because if we have too much confidence, then we might be not overpowering, but being equally as the majority, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did her thing out there. I do find it interesting that she's married to a white man too, so she is really breaking all of these stereotypes that Black women have faced for ages now. She's making it known that I can still be proud of my Blackness and also still be with whoever I want to be with. Her children are not biracial. She's going to celebrate within them and her family. We love to see it.
All right. Let's talk about politics.
Here we go. Our good friend Donald Trump. Here we are, our president. He signed an executive order to end DEI. The Biden administration, and I quote, forced illegal and immoral discrimination programs going by the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion into virtually all aspects of the federal government in areas ranging from airline safety to the military. So he is blaming all of this on Biden. So we're watching now as he is basically attacking the brown and Black communities. We are taking DEI out of all of our systems. We're firing Black employees. We are getting rid of the things that have given most of our community ways to advance themselves. So what are we trying to do here? Are we trying to go back to the times where America was great? and Black people were below the poverty line. We're taking away that time that most of us have spent filling out forms just to be able to afford to go to further educate ourselves. Um, Getting rid of DEI is not only just going to affect brown and Black people, but underprivileged people in general. We know for a fact that there's not just poor Black people or poor Hispanic people who are going to be suffering from this. There's also other minorities and white people who are going to be suffering as well. This is not just a Black issue. This is a everybody issue. Systematic racism has been around for God knows how long. We are all aware of that. And I feel like when he's saying we're going to make America great again, he's trying to go back in a time where that racism and that systematic racism was there as a portrayal to keep anybody who was not of a certain economic standing down. You can't get up. You can't get back up if those are taken away from you and you're being stripped of the same things that have helped you get where you are today. So we did talk to a couple people actually around campus. Some of our students are concerned about what this means for them as well. Some of our employees here, Johnson C. Smith, as well. We did do an interview with somebody who holds a great position in our educational standpoint here at Smith. And he had quite a bit to say. So let's go over a couple things with DEI. What does that stand for the Black community?
Well, initially DEI or diversity, equity, and inclusion, and recently a lot of people have been adding a B to that at the end to also stand for belonging. So as far as we look at the Black community, when we look at DEI, I guess in the Black community, we look at opportunities to cast a wide net so that we can make sure we get the entire talent pipeline into positions, into scholarship efforts, into research opportunities, and into other opportunities that, historically people from underserved communities may have been overlooked just because they came from certain communities, certain ethnicities, certain disabilities or accommodation backgrounds.
That was Dr. Patrick Martin, the provost for Johnson C. Smith. He is over the academic department and is chief resource officer. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel like first and foremost, he's the provost, so to have somebody so eloquently say, yeah, we're probably going to lose a lot of our students if these scholarships are taken away. We know for a fact that DEI is prominent in so many of the places here. We know that we have students who are they're the first generation here at Smith. They have their own group. They're receiving, that's from DEI. Those scholarships, that way of them being here is from DEI. We've spoken to Marvin, a student here. He is in the Duke Endowment Program. That by itself it speaks volumes. So are we going to keep missing out on our students and, allowing that to happen? What are we going to do as a community?
Yes. So we will get the students' perspective of how they feel, especially getting those type of scholarships. Marvin Brown is a sophomore and a business major. Kirksey Beatty, and I'm with my co-host,
Shanitra.
And we have a special guest, Marvin Brown. He is a Johnson C. Smith University student and got accepted by the James B. Duke Scholarship and is in the McNair program. Can you explain how you got the James B. Duke Scholarship?
Yes, the James B. Duke Scholarship is awarded to seniors in high school who are qualified and who are invited to apply to the presidential award program, and they are handpicked by a panel of the scholarship committee, and they are given a full scholarship to Johnson C. Smith University, and the scholarship's name is the James B. Duke Award.
Okay, so can you elaborate a McNair program and what it serves to the community?
Okay, the McNair program is a research groups for a research organization for underserved undergraduate students to help them prepare for graduate school and potentially achieving a PhD and also conducting and presenting research. Usually, McNair students are students who are of color, who are not privy to what it takes to achieve a PhD or succeed in graduate school. And the McNair program has been very helpful throughout my tenure at Johnson C. Smith University.
Okay, thanks. Shanitra?
Really helpful. Was this something that without it you wouldn't have been able to be successful at the college level now that you are in school and receiving it? Would you have been able to still come to school without
Without this award, I would not have been able to come to Johnson C. Smith University. Johnson C. Smith ranges from 30, instead of 30, early 30,000s for the cost of attendance. It would have been very difficult for myself and my family to scrape that money up. So I would not have been able to attend without the James P. Duke Award.
that? Thank you. And out of curiosity, I'm going to just come right out with it. To be frank, do you feel like with the new DEI laws and the way that we're progressing, do you think that that's targeting Black communities more so than any other community?
I definitely think that. I think that it's targeting Black communities and all of the initiatives and all of the efforts that have been put in place to support Black communities. I feel like all of those initiatives are being attacked by the anti-DEI mindset. You know, there are a lot of things that people of color need help with, and all anti-DEI initiatives are doing is tackling those initiatives. So I think that it's wrong. I think it's unethical. And yes,
So, unintended consequences of the certain scholarship on DEI efforts.
a lot of students who are in school right now, depending on their scholarships, will have to either quit school or will have to come up with money or find loan money that they did not have to have before the scholarship was suspended. Like, for example, I thought the other day, a USDA scholarship for students studying agriculture, it was suspended. And that was a full scholarship for students. But now that it's been suspended, students have to worry about finding all of that money now that it's not there anymore, now that it's not available anymore. So it puts students in a position to have to find the money that they were at one point in time getting. And some students may have to withdraw from school. Some students may have to take out more loans than they had to before. So it really affects the students more than anything else.
I see. That is, whew, that's sad. How we don't know that, how big DEI is, but it helps a lot with people of color, diversity.
And the thing, we're targeting people of color. I'm very frank about it. We know for a fact that this is targeting the education of our people. And the biggest way to keep people ignorant and in check is by education.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Well, that is all the questions we wanted to ask Marvin. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for shedding light on this very relevant topic.
All right. Bye.
That was a mouthful right there, wasn't it? Truly, and I'm telling you what, like we're hearing this now from not even just, we're speaking about students who are coming here trying to do better for their entire families. They're being stripped of scholarships that they worked so hard to even be able to receive. DEI is going to make a change in our world as we know it, with one way or another. So I think the biggest thing now is, what are we going to do? What are we going to do as a community? What are we going to do to try to help ourselves not go back in time?
So I know that this is very emotional topic. It's just saddening. I'm just grateful that, according to NPR, a federal judge on Friday largely blocked sweeping executive orders from President Donald Trump that seeks to end government support from programs promoting diversity, equality, and inclusion. Um, it's just the fact that we have to have judges to get in between this and tell Trump, like, no, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Well, we know that. I mean, this is a executive order that was placed in 1965. So, of course, somebody's going to say something, or
Mhm.
somebody should say something.
And I think that's the thing. I think becoming president or any type of leadership, sometimes what we think is supposed to be good or supposed to help the community or whatever, we have to go back to our amendments, our rights, and make sure this is legal process to do. We can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna do slavery again. Like, no,
Here we go.
you can't do that. The judge is like, wait, you
No.
can't do it.
But it's imperative that we understand that was not that long ago.
Mm-mm.
I feel like a lot of us kind of forget, like, hey, we just started getting the right to vote late 1960s. Okay, so this is not something that couldn't happen. We, as the United States, we know that patterns can repeat. We know that the past and history is one of the most imperative things that we have to learn as a country so that we're not going backwards. Going back is never going to help us. Being great again, we need to be moving forward, not going back to a time where half of us didn't have rights, not even just as an African American community, but as women. Women didn't even have the bare essential rights, So I don't think making America great again is going to benefit for us, but
I don't think it's going to benefit for us. I honestly don't think it's going to benefit for the minority and the majority, because I feel like when you start small, you kind of start big, right? I was on TikTok and there was this farmer. He voted for Trump. And I saw on social media that like Project 2025, a lot of the stuff Trump didn't even say himself, in which the farmer had said, he was a white male, and he said, I didn't think Project 2025 was real because a lot of Trump was saying, well, a lot of things that said Trump wasn't even saying. And I seen it on social media too. Well, now something is going on with his farming. Trump put a stop into something with the farming situation. It's just now it's affecting on the majority. So it's just not just the minority. It's slowly but surely it's
going
gonna
to affect our entire country.
Yeah.
Whether or not we choose to believe it or we choose to separate ourselves, I don't believe separating ourselves is going to be what makes us stronger. I think our country needs to stand together as one to do what's right. I know that, our ethnic group alone is 13.7% of the U.S. population. That's the African American disparity. That's what we have here in the United States. So that leaves so much room for other people to step up. I mean, so what percentage of that population voted for him? What percentage of that population is allowing what is going on now to continue? It's unreal. Like, it really, truly is unreal to watch it. I've seen Hispanics also come on and say, hey, we voted for Trump. They were proud to have voted for him.
It was definitely the money.
Right. And they're watching their families.
It was definitely like,
or without.
Yeah, it was definitely the stimulus check. Baby, they will never forget the stimulus check.
That $1,500, baby, is not worth it. It's not worth it, okay? I am not here for it. I'm so sorry.
I'm like, honey, a stimmy?
Yeah.
Baby, a stimmy?
That little stimmy is gone within 2 days, girl.
Y'all still remember that?
Right.
Let it go. Let it go. I bet they're regretting it now.
They're coming out and saying they're regretting it, but that regret's not going to do anything for us.
And then I think a lot of part of it, if it's not white and if it's not Hispanic, I think another thing was African American males and how they would rather not vote for anybody because they didn't like Kamala Harris or Trump.
Because they didn't want to see a woman in that seat, girl.
Mhm.
They did not want to see it, black, white, or
They wasn't
blue.
ready.
They do not want
They
to
wasn't
see
ready.
a woman in that seat. I'm telling you.
I was watching a comedy show called Roy Woods Jr. And I think the name of the stand-up was Flower Child. And in his comedy, he said, y'all know they wasn't ready for that. They was not ready for that. We had a black president. We had a black mermaid, the Disney mermaid, and now
Black president.
They
said enough is enough.
They wasn't ready. They wasn't ready.
That wasn't about to happen.
And then another thing is I feel like hate is such a big movement. If you have hate, a lot of people move on that. Like, for example, me, I am African American, I'm black. But I know a lot of people that was African American black that voted for Trump because they couldn't stand the LGBT community. So they're risking their rights, their freedom
Let's see how it is.
to
Yeah.
they're risking their freedom to hurt the LGBT community.
But in reality, they could care less. They could care less if you are gay, straight, blue. It doesn't matter.
No.
It's never been.
We're in this together. I'm like, all of this, you voted for Trump just because you don't like the LGBT. He don't like you.
Exactly. He don't
Sorry. He doesn't like you. He doesn't like nobody. He just likes himself. And that being that's
and you're right about that hatred though. It grows so much.
Yeah.
Hatred is kind of like a seedling. You plant it and people take over and it just goes everywhere. And it's scary to even see, that hatred spread the way that they're spreading.
Oh,
because as we know, it's not just about being black. It's not just about being gay. It could be anything.
Yeah.
At this point, everybody's certain.
But I do think that picking on African Americans isn't the trend no more. It's everybody know like, oh, African Americans, we stand up. So now it's moving on to the Hispanics, the Mexicans. That's like the new thing. Like, go back to your country. Go back to your, like, that's so rude and disrespectful, but that's the new thing now. You know what I mean? So
it's a direct attack on people of color in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I do see how that they're moving towards the weakest link. But who's next?
We're so smart.
Next?
Oh, let's not forget about the Asians though.
Uh-huh.
They're not really vocal, but I know during the COVID there was a lot of South Asian hate, stuff going on. And like you said, who's next? It's always going to be the lowest hanging fruit.
Because in reality, we are not going to ever be, the top minority.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not a thing.
But the only reason why Trump can't really say too much about us because we're going to say something.
Yeah.
The blacks in America, we're going to say something. We're going to talk up. And now it's Hispanics. It's the Asians. Their turn. They got to speak up. They got to speak their truth. I think a lot of times
for help. They're asking for help for the black community. And I've noticed that a lot of us are shutting them now because they're like, well, you voted for them. But we also did.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we turn our backs on the people they're close to us? I mean, their melanin is not that, much further away than what we have, We can't turn our backs on our brothers and sisters just because of a mistake that they might have done, okay? We all made mistakes. Like you just said, a lot of our black men specifically voted for Trump. So we're all together, guys. We're all together.
Yeah. And that is all for this podcast, our first episode. Thank you again for listening to In Between. And
come back and see us for round 2. We can't wait to talk to you guys. Feel free to hit us up on our socials. And we'll love to bring some of that into our next topic.
Oh, we want to shout out the Golden Bull TV. We're in their studio right now.
And it's great.
It's great. We love the Golden Bull TV studio. We're not the first, the labels.
The label was the first. So shout out to the label. Let's here. We love you though. But yeah.
Shout out. I was going to say we're the first. No, we're not. The label was here. But thank you again, Golden Bull TV. This was so fun.
Signing out.
Signing out.